So I welcome all the panelists here. Should we straightway delve into the questions, or may like to introduce yourself a bit? Okay, sure. So Smita ji? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I am a social entrepreneur. I pick up waste from garment factories and all sorts of textile waste. And then I have already trained more than 500 women across Delhi, less privileged women living in different slums. We have trained them how to convert the waste into beautiful products like mats, cushion covers, travel pouches, and so many things. So we have a small office, we bring the waste there, we segregate the waste, and then we reach it out to the women, and women make different product. In the last, I have been in Delhi for the last 6 years. Before that, we were overseas. And in last 6 years, of course, 2.5 years was COVID. Even then, we have done so well, which gives me a very positive sign that we are going in the right direction. Last 2 years, whatever profit I have earned, I started up a small school. MCD has given a place. This place was absolutely a kudedan, which is like, they call it here as dalao, which is all the community's waste gets accumulated there. So I took it from the MCD, cleaned the whole place, and started a school, 100% free school for less privileged children. And it's just a one-room school, and with only 62 bachas, and it's inside Asiad village. And our kids have done brilliantly. They have gone ahead and got themselves, national level and Asian level taekwondo, gold medals in taekwondo. Taekwondo is one of the subjects that we teach there, one of the things that we teach there. So very proud moment for all of us there. So
Thanks, Smita ji. And Nikhil?
Yeah. So I represent Magic Bus India Foundation. It's a 25-year-old organization in the field of life and employability skills for young people. We work in 2 age groups. One is the 11 to 18-year-old adolescents. We work with close to 1.5 million young people across government schools. And we are also in the field of skilling and placements for young people in the age group of 18 to 25. We have skilled and placed close to 300,000, 3 lakh young people by now.
Thanks a lot, Nikhil ji. Thanks for introducing yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Nikhil. My name is Abhishek Dubey, basically. I'm a founder of Muskan Dreams. I'm glad that we all have, smartphone, access to laptops and internet. But there are millions of children in the country who do not have, who are not as lucky as we are. So we at Muskan Dream, basically we are trying to bridge the digital divide as far as the government school education system is concerned. We bring technology and innovation to government school classrooms, basically, so that children can thrive in the digital future.
Hi everyone, my name is Tarachan. I am the only panelist from CSR. Other people are entrepreneurs, odd men out. So I manage CSR for Oaknorth, which is a bank in UK, and we are a fintech company. We have an NBFC in US as well. So our business model is very simple, like other banks. We take deposits from the people, and we, at a lower interest rate, and then we, give loans to SMEs, businesses at a higher interest rate. So that's the simple model we have. We have another technology, where we advise, our clients on, what impact climate can have, on different businesses. So we fund SMEs, and based on the, various thousands of scenarios, which business will get the biggest hit in terms of climate change, that product we have developed, which we sell in US market. So this is our, primary business. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Abhishek ji. Thanks, Tara ji. And we have got kind of a diverse panel up here, and a lot of responsibilities from the social part as well as the CSR part. So the key topic, aligning the business goals and thinking of the social development part. So what are the strategies, and Taraji, Oaknorth actually adopts, or as per your experience, which actually fits in about the, making the alignment between the social requirement and the organizations, big organizations?
See, I believe, when all these, businesses started, they started with a motive that we wanted to solve certain, social problem, whether you talk about health, whether you talk about education, whether you talk about a bank, all these, businesses started with, solving a problem. There was no motive, behind that we'll be making money. I don't think, we have two founders here, they had any motive that they'll be making money. So what I believe that businesses are already aligned to social purpose, when they are running their businesses. We, as a bank, we, conducted a research and found that, SMEs, so our founders, they were entrepreneurs before. When they wanted to scale their business, when wanted to establish their businesses, they went to a lot of banks, but they did not get any loans because they were not, completing the criteria established by the bank to get the business loans. So this was the challenge with most of the SMEs. Even today, we face. We have, banks like Sidvi who are providing such kind of support, but largely we struggle, if we don't, match with the criteria fixed by the bank. So same kind of, issue our founders also faced. And we conducted a research where we found that, accessing finance is the biggest hindrance for SMEs to scale their businesses, to grow their businesses. So we thought we will be solving this problem. And our founders, when they got opportunity to get a license for the bank in UK, they established this bank, and we are only catering to SMEs. Our entire focus is on supporting SMEs, creating tailor-made solutions as per their need. And we have the quickest turnaround time in UK. Although we charge 1% extra more than what our competitors are charging, but we provide them quality services and more swift services for that so I believe that all the businesses who are operating, they had a social or some problem in mind which they wanted to solve. As far as, because we are a bank serving SMEs, we thought that, our CSR purpose should also align with, our business purpose. So we decided that we'll be promoting entrepreneurship. And largest amount of our funding goes to promoting entrepreneurship. We are working with 4 lakh students in Telangana. Across UK, we are, working in schools with help of London School of Economics, where we are running a school entrepreneurship program in UK. Similarly, we have started a program on mentorpreneurship. It is a certificate which we have designed in, a partnership with London School of Economics, and it is a joint certificate program where people, who wants to mentor the entrepreneurs, they have prior experience of doing something and they want to undertake this certification to provide mentorship to entrepreneurs. They can do this course and then they can become mentors and they can, get, some kind of livelihoods as well. Because we work with entrepreneurs, and the biggest challenge with the entrepreneurship is that, we find it really hard to find mentors. I have also been an entrepreneur. I started an organization in 2006 and various initiatives. The biggest challenge, I believe, is that, if you have someone who can provide you hand-holding support, someone who can guide you, someone who can mentor you, then it is easier to sail through the challenges an entrepreneur face. So that's why we we started this certification program. And then, we work on climate. We work on climate. We have a product on climate. So we do a lot of work on around climate, whether it is carbon farming or larger scale plantation, or rainwater harvesting, solid waste management. So water recycling, all that kind of work we are doing with the help of NGOs in Delhi NCR, Bangalore, and largely in these 2 locations. We most of the workforce comes from STEM subjects. So we have largely in our company we have chartered accountants, FCAs, MBA finance, people who come from finance background. Then in our technology business, we have people who are largely, coming from technology background. So we also, believe that, we should promote STEM-based education, technology-based education. So we provide scholarships, we work with various schools to, inspire students to take, STEM-based subjects or STEM-based careers. We are running a very big program in London, in UK, where we are working, we have target of at least inspiring 150,000 students with special focus on girls so that they can get into STEM-based careers. So I think, that way, I believe, if we are able to align our, business purpose, which is already, as I've told you that, it's already social. If you are able to, focus on and you are running your business ethically, professionally, without manipulating things, then I think in itself is you are doing good by you're solving a problem. You don't need to do anything extra, but CSR definitely helps you in brand building, in image building. Although in CSR rules, it is not allowed that we take any kind of advantage. As per the CSR rules, it is not allowed that we take any marketing advantage out of CSR. But in other locations, we are doing that. We fund lot of programs where we try to get business value out of it. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Taraji. Very insightful and especially touching the environmental part along with the social part. So moving on to Nikhil ji, that based on your vast experience and the presence of over a majority of the areas. So do you think that the strategies of the organizations, the CSR partners, they are fitting in with the requirement of the underprivileged or the people who really need that? So I would like to hear from you.
So that and the subject of this panel discussion is aligning strategy and business. So let me take these three words and explore it a little bit, okay?
Exactly.
So when I look at, from the business standpoint, we have close to 25,000 crores of CSR funding every year. Seems like a large amount. Divide that by the capital, the population, it comes to 200 rupees per person. Very small amount to solve the kind of problems that we have in the country. That's why it's our responsibility as CSR and NGOs to align the funding firstly to the right purpose. It's a huge responsibility. And then that's only from the funding standpoint. But when I look at a corporate, then it has a much wider base of assets. Their employees, which are currently, there are a lot of employee volunteering programs. So can we purpose the employee volunteering programs also for the right social causes? Brand assets, consumer base, like how are we leveraging our own consumer base for the right social causes that we support as a corporate? Our network of partners, dealers, distributors, vendors, how do we leverage all of that? And when I see all of that put together, I see that there's a huge gap and a really long way to go for us. The second part is the strategy. When I look at strategy, it requires a really long-term view. Whereas a lot of funding is year-on-year funding for assets rather than capabilities. Capabilities actually go a long way. Once you build a capability in a community stakeholder or in the government or in a school, that capability is here to stay for the really long term. So can we take a slightly more long-term view of the change that we are about to bring in the society? And the third is alignment, which I think when I see a social issue and a business trying to solve that social issue through the CSR route, one of the things that, it's not just about CSRs, but even NGOs, equal partners in the whole game. The issue is of measures. are we measuring the right set of indicators which will indicate the social change that we are trying to bring about? So focusing the entire attention on the right measures, the right outcomes. Just as an example, Magic Bus as an organization was set up, when it was set up 25 years ago, Matthew first placed young people in jobs. And then he realized that all of them, in about 45 days, all of them had dropped out of their job. That's when he realized that, oh, I want to solve the job-related problem because that's really sustainable. But I can't just place young people in jobs. I need to start with them since they are children so that we can build the right set of life skills along the way, which will help them sustain in the job. But somewhere along the way, we realized that the enrollment problem in primary schools is already solved because we have 100% enrollment. In fact, more than 100%. Gross enrollment goes up beyond that. So we've shifted our attention. The measures that we started focusing on and the cohorts that we started working with shifted. And we said, where is the major dropout happening? The major dropout is happening in upper primary and secondary, where enrollment goes down from 97% to almost 57% in certain places in higher secondary. So, that's the real age group where we want to make a difference. And we realigned our whole program towards that. This is just as an example about how choosing the right space, the right indicators that you want to focus on, and then aligning your whole program towards that. Those are the three things that I could think of. Thanks.
Thanks, Nikhilji. Taking two takeaways, that's assets versus capabilities. That's one of the key point you indicated. And catching them young. That's also very important part where somewhere we miss it out. And now moving to Mr. Abhishek. Now that's then from strategy to kind of implementation, now to the grassroots kind of challenges. So we'd like to hear from you that whether the alignment of the business goals versus your implementation parts, have you faced any challenges, and we would like to hear those challenges.
Of course, when you do something, and when two organizations comes together to work in collaboration, of course there are challenges, right? And I think, Nikhil can understand, and I think we all can understand that, the challenges between, while you are executing the program and somebody is coming from the top, sitting in the corporate office, basically, there's a lot of gap in terms of the understanding, right? So there are challenges, no doubt, and I think we as an entrepreneur, we exist to solve those challenges. So what is our role looks like, basically, we work with corporate, we help them understand basically why this is needed, we sometime what we do basically, we invite the, our partners to actually visit, the schools, the grassroots basically. Now, so today, if we can record the temperature, there's a, 45-degree temperature is going on, right? Now, in this temperature, if you go and visit the school in the 40 kilometers in the rural area, you'll be able to understand that what are the challenges which government school children or a teacher is facing and why they are not working or they're working, right? So I think there are a number of challenges which, which as a, as any non-profit face in terms of the expectations of the corporate, because the corporate have the more sort of their business goals alignment, in terms of, as Nikhil mentioned rightly, in terms of voluntary engagement, in terms of sometime it may be a brand basically. So, the non-profit and the another side of story, like we need to understand that how are we aligning and making sure that, this will become a kind of win-win situation for both the side basically. So I think we work closely with both the side and give them sort of exposure from the field. And I think sometime, it really works, but I think sometime it not. But I think slowly and gradually, by the time, a lot of good people are coming. And people are also, trying to understand the grassroots challenges, how grassroots function basically, what are those challenges. And I think they're also, being a part of it. The good thing which I found is basically, when you involve somebody, I think it helps reduces the maximum problem, which you are facing. Because involvement and engagement create a kind of major gap and solve the problem.
And I believe that, when you are talking about aligning, business purpose with, social purpose, I think we have to find a balance between both of them, as Abhishek ji rightly said that, these, we are not solution providers, the people who are working on the ground, they know what are the ground realities, what are the problems at the ground, what people, issues people are facing, and how we can solve them. Only they people, the people who are working on the ground, the NGOs, they know better, we are not. So I think sometime we have to use, it's not that, always we should do, top-down approach. Sometime, when it comes to developmental works, I think the best approach is to, bottoms up. So if solutions are coming from them, it's not that always we should align, our business purpose. Sometime, we should also consider, society and the priorities of the society and fund programs according to that. It's not necessary that you always align your, business purpose with
Right.
social purpose. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, sure, Nikhil.
Just one point which I want to highlight, which is that NGOs are equally to blame in this whole thing, because there has been a lot of focus on building awareness amongst communities, right? But however, that awareness does not translate into results, right? And hence, we as partners in the whole game need to shift our focus on results, outcomes, rather than just some aspects like awareness. Awareness, of course, is essential, but how much of it gets translated into results is the real question.
Thanks, Nikhil. And now we have got Smita, and Smita has got experience of, getting least support from the other organizations,
Yeah.
and, taking the movement on and on and on and keep on growing. So we'd like to hear that apart from the strategy, apart from the challenges, taking it on ourselves and moving ahead. So her experience,
It's
Smita.
thank you so much. It's a completely different experience because where he's right here next to me and he has so much of numbers and it's big. But for me it is small, and putting attention to the small and making a difference in that 50 families or 62 families. Across Delhi NCR, we are working with about 52 women who are currently completely involved. So for the last 5 years, we have seen changes, and I know everybody in the society around, in their family, what's happening. Everything is like I'm a part of their family. So it is not big number. But yes, CSR participation also helps. I came from Calcutta and then later overseas. So I didn't know anybody here, and I'm still figuring it out. So I have not reached out to a proper CSR channel also. But I'm sure with the help of CSR, the numbers are achievable. But one has to understand that have I done whatever I started with the initial work, have I done it absolutely correct? Means, did I do justice, then jump into the number? I think that is one. That was possible only through community participation. Now, if you come to the school, you will know that we have two beautiful big libraries, and each library has about 10,000 books. Not even one book is purchased by the organization. Everything is just word of mouth, book donation, running WhatsApp campaigns, running Facebook campaigns, and getting book donation. The shelves where the books are placed, they are also all upcycled. So we are walking the talk. Nothing is even, yesterday we had a pizza party in the school. So we are doing the pizza party, but the plates where we are serving is also the children are asked to bring from home. Not even a paper plate is being used, and just throwing the waste around. So that kind of minute details we are looking at. So the children will remember, right, going forward in their lives, they will remember that हम school जाते तो हम plate भी घर से लेकर के जाते थे. So I think somewhere it will resonate when they grow up and become older. So of course, India is such a big country and we have such the largest population, we need the numbers. But I think also parallelly we must ensure that, are we teaching sustainability to one child? Are we teaching that to, even if we have done it at the end of the year, 5 children have learnt it and they figured it out, it's job well done. I think so.
Thanks, Smita. And going back to Taraji, of course, tough task, business goals, strategies, implementation, and you have got multiple partners, implementing partners. So what challenge exactly do you face as a kind of a donor with so many implementing partners or in strategizing the things?
Yeah, so I mean, it's not that we always look for, I told you that we should maintain a balance, it's not that we always look for, organizations who are aligned to our, business purpose. the biggest challenge we face is that, sometime, capacity of the NGOs. So sometime the kind of expectations we have, that is a challenge, sometime NGOs are not able to meet such kind of, requirements we have. Largely when it comes to data, use of technology in monitoring and evaluation, impact measurement. This is the biggest challenge we face, then the sometime, because CSR committee are the decision makers, and they people definitely have, a wide experience, but they don't know the, ground realities, So it becomes a task for us to, convince them that, sometimes they say that, okay, you do this kind of project, then it's difficult for us to, convince them, okay, we can do it, but it is not allowed in the CSR rules, or, it will not have much impact, just for, you have a fascination towards it, or, it's a choice, your choice, you want to suggest it, but it may not have a, a long-term impact. So we regularly, keep updating our, senior management, sometime it becomes a challenge. Selecting right set of partners, there are, so many organizations in India, people say that, how many million, 3 millions, or, kind of organizations we have in India. But when it comes to, when we go out in the, field and, start looking at the organizations, and we have our own due diligence process, not many organizations fit that criteria. Only the large organizations who are established organizations, and we are working with some of the established organizations. People say that why don't you work with the small organizations? Because small organizations have their own challenges, which makes for us challenging to work with them. So that is another issue we face. We definitely want to support small organizations, but the capabilities of those small organizations creates challenges for us.
Okay.
So that is one thing. And in our company, I mean, that is there. But when you are restricted with the, certain policies and, certain thematic areas, then you are restricted to those particular, focus areas only, and you are not, you don't have much opportunity to go and explore, innovate, in different kind of areas. So that becomes a challenge for us. So these are the basic challenges, we regularly face. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Now moving to Abhishek ji and Nikhil ji, that okay, they have got their internal challenges, of course, and what would you suggest that you can convince the corporates or the CSR? What would be that strategy to make them convince that okay, we need this at the grassroots level? So what do you suggest?
I think there's a lot of gap, which, as Tara mentioned rightly, when it comes from when it comes to board, because the board have their own priorities, their understanding about the business, and of course their core focus is to build business versus doing social impact. But now, but the mindset, it's changing, and the shift is going on basically. And I think it's happening because of the people like Tara and others, those who are actually trying to, convince the board and making them understand basically that what is the need, because the most important thing is like are we able to understand the need, or are we doing or investing money just because the sake of it, because we want to do it, right? Because it looks sound, it looks cool, but I think in our case, basically at Muskan Dreams, basically that what we do, as I mentioned in the last conversation, was to, helping people understand, and, through involving and engaging them, right? It actually helped them understand basically in terms of getting visibility, like what are the challenges which are going on the ground. So for example, when it comes to non-profit in the CSR, so there's a cap for, so-called overheads or admin cost, right? Which is around, 10% or 5% basically, right? There's a threshold. However, in the recent conversation, which we were having with one of our very reputed organization, very famous for their philanthropy, the person, it was very shocking to us, but the person, asked us, that you are an NGO, so you don't need admin cost, right? Can you remove this from the budget? And we were like literally surprised that how you can say this to us, because how are you gonna work, because there's a n number of people working, supporting indirectly to the project. So but of course, I think then we have a sort of round of conversation. We actually help them, making them understand कि भैया एक poster भी जाता है social media पे तो उसका भी पैसा है, right? And there are n number of costs which is indirectly or directly supporting to the project, right? So we can't say कि admin नहीं होना चाहिए, overheads नहीं होना चाहिए. So I think there are n number of things, but I think लोग समझते हैं अगर आप ठीक से समझाओ. If you have any right intent to make people understand, there are a number of ways to actually, because end of the day we all are humans. So yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add also that, I think there is need for institute like Indian, this IICA, Indian Institute of Corporate Communication, or, MCA. They need to organize some training programs for the board of directors, who are part of CSR committees, at least some basic orientation if they can give to them. And then, that would be beneficial. And I mean, this challenge, we face, across organizations, that you come from NGO, why do you need such kind of salaries? People who are working in corporate houses, they get, very handsome salaries, but the people who are working in non-profits, they, it's like a penny, but even then that people have that kind of mindset. So I think if we are able to educate people who are running CSR departments in the various corporate houses, or if we are able to orient the directors through corporate affairs or IICA, that would be, I think, great. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Nikhil ji, please, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think both of them highlighted about education and awareness being very critical to bring about this change. I think if I break that down, there is a need to make the people on the other side aware of what is it that the community actually needs, which is the community that you are serving, what are their needs, and then look at approaches to solve those needs. That becomes, according to me, the first step. The other thing is about the role of the NGO. I think there has been a lot of shift in the role of the NGO, or expectations from the NGO, which was largely focused on pointing gaps, to now it is on bridging the gaps. So is the NGO partner really able to solve that challenge, bridge the gap that is there, or just bring about awareness that there is a gap? That's really what one of the focus areas that CSRs are increasingly looking at. The third thing is, we get asked this question a lot. How is this project sustainable? Whenever they ask me this question, I have three things in my mind. Are they talking of sustainability of the change that we have brought about? Are they talking of sustainability of the model that we have implemented? Or are they talking of sustainability from an environment angle? तो मुझे पहले वो समझना पड़ता है कि question क्या है? Yeah, it is very, it's the sustainability of the change is something which is far easier under the control of the NGO, I'll say. Because if you have built capacity, if you have installed an asset, installed an asset means we need to still ensure sustainability of the repairs and upkeeping of that asset and so on. But if it's sustainability of in terms of capacity built, if I have trained a government school teacher, if I have trained a child, then it has brought about a certain clear change in their attitude, in their behaviors, in their awareness and so on. So sustainability of the change, we can explain. Sustainability of the model, it's very difficult.
Okay,
People
Nikhil
expect
ji,
a lot of...
Nikhil ji, I would just keeping the just 15 seconds, so we'd like to
Okay,
hear
so
from
then
Ms. Smita.
sustainability of model and sustainability of environment, I don't think that's something which we focus on. So, yeah.
So Smita, according to you, for that particular sustainable, what should be the focus area? Just very quick words.
Community participation, like I said, figuring out what are the kind of expenses that we can avoid, but put attention wherever we need to. Our children performed so well that we had to encourage them to go to Dubai and participate. It was very difficult because we are not getting any kind of a financial aid like you had mentioned earlier. So what we did is we encouraged community to come forward and see if anybody, can sponsor children. And children went to Dubai, and then all of them, 5 of them got gold and 1 got bronze, and made us
Okay.
proud. So I think community needs to come together, and then that's how it will, result in
Okay.
sustainable.
Thanks, Asmita, and thanks, organizers. Time is up, and I don't know how can we take the questions before we conclude.
Well, if we have one question, I think we do have time for one
So
question.
maybe
But please make sure that you're asking a question and not stating your opinion, since this is a Q&A round, not opinions round. We're passing on a mic.
I'm Rakesh Mehrotra. I would like to know that because we are having a very important role for the NGOs, what do you think should be expected of the NGOs? Because earlier it was being said that some people think that job ends at providing awareness. The awareness is already coming from the community. So what is the NGO to do? So what is the role ideally you feel is for the NGO community? In the present times, there are many rules of the government which are targeting in a wrong way also. So there were many wrongs also among the NGOs. I would not like to elaborate on them. So in this forum, I think we should be, when we are thinking so much forward, what is the forward role in the future you see for the NGOs?
I think the kind of people who are getting involved in running an NGO, the quality of people, their education background, everything has changed over time. I went to IIM Bangalore and I worked when I had to work. But when I came back, then I wanted to focus on development sector. But about 20 years ago, I did not see, I saw NGO was in a very different light. It was taken, and it was like one of the things that we do. We just go to an NGO and we just devote 2 hours once in a week. It is changing now. Everything is changing. Now we are
That's
very
what I was
focused.
trying to say.
Yeah, it is
that,
very focused people, educated
you
people
are,
coming together.
You have to get into some rule book is to be followed also for the NGO. All kind of things are there. So the statement of purpose should be very, very clear and broad. I mean, it should, your accountability also coming these days. So
I think NGO's role should be to create a model of, to create models of change and development which can be replicated. And in CSR, awareness focus programs are not allowed. So I think NGO should identify the problems in the society, in the community, and try to come up with innovative solutions, how they can be solved. So that should be the, and we can't, NGOs don't have capability to, run such kind of programs across the country. So they can create models, pilot, and then which you can showcase to other people and they can adopt and replicate across the country. Thanks.
So I think that, yeah, I'll just take 30 seconds in case that, I think there is a question there.
Can we pass on a mic to the gentleman, please?
Yeah. So I'll just say that I think what the gentleman Rakesh sir highlighted is about the onus on the NGO is also very high because we are ultimately taking public money, right? So that's something which is very, very clear. It goes without saying that our practices, our transparency, our compliance, data has to be really of high quality, above board. That's a given. Having said that, the question is, what is the role? The role is, like I was thinking earlier, it's about bridging the gap, which the government is unable to, fully meet, and what the market is unable to fully meet. Looking at what are those gaps which are unserviced, and then identifying solutions which can be replicated.
We'd like to quickly jump to your question, please.
So my question is to Mr. Tarachan. My name is S.N. Sharma. I am former Director, Government of India, Ministry of MSME and Chief Mentor of Bharatiya Yuva Shakti Trust, which is based in Chhatarpur in Delhi, if you know Chhatarpur. We are looking after Delhi and Gurgaon. The problem is that we are not getting the entrepreneur to whom we should assist, to whom we should get loan up to 50 lakh rupees at 2% less of interest. We have an agreement with 8 banks. Bharatiya Yuva Shakti Trust is run by 15 top industries of the country. And there are more than 30 clusters in the entire country in the backward region. And each cluster is not getting the entrepreneur. Can we work together? Because you are referring about London. London में आपने कई दफा कहा. My question is, are you working in London or you are working for India and what? So I can share you the name of the cluster in the entire country, and this is a reality because MSME in our country for the last few years after GST they are facing so many problems. So many MSME has been closed. So it is the right time that we should work together and energize those sectors.
So
which is
once again,
contributing to the-
I
want your
Sure, sir. So we work in London and we work in India as well. Okay. And I will definitely connect with you. We are working with around 10,000 women micro entrepreneurs around close to Bangalore in Chamarajanagar district. So we can definitely connect if you are working there. We are working with schools, 3 lakh students we are working in Telangana. These are 9th and 11th class students. A program is already running in Delhi called Business Blaster, so we are replicating that in Telangana. So if you want to connect, you can definitely connect with me. Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
thanks once again all the panelists, Tara ji, Abhishek ji, Nikhil ji, Smita, thanks for joining the panel.